Hey, welcome back to my channel, Duct Tape Mechanic. In this video, I'm going to show you how to completely disassemble and clean the inside of a Samsung electric dryer. Now, this is something you could do after a couple of years of use to clean up all the lint and perhaps even prevent a dryer fire. So if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more DIY and tinkering videos. Alright, so here's the Samsung unit in question right here. This is going to be applicable to pretty much any sort of Samsung dryer, but if you're curious, that right there is the model number. So in this video, I'm going to be taking this thing apart and vacuuming up all of the lint in there. I'm also going to be inspecting the rollers and the idler pulley. Now, this video could be also helpful if you're wondering how to disassemble this machine to change the heating element or change the belt or the rollers or the idler pulley. So it could have multiple applications. So stay tuned. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing is removing the top of the dryer. To do that, we'll be removing this screw, these two screws. Removing the two screws, we should be able to just pull it up and back out of there. After that, we're going to be removing the display panel. So to do that, all you got to do is just kind of pry up the top right here and pull back, and we should be able to take that off. I removed the knob right there, and let's see if we can just undo those clips right there. There we go. And then go ahead and pull off or unclip the connectors as well. Alright, so after that, we're going to take off the front door. To do that, first we're going to remove these 4 screws. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Open the door. Remove the lint trap. That gives you an estimation of how much lint we're going to find in there. Undo these 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so once you've got those screws removed, you're going to go ahead and just pry off the door from these clips right here, and then remove the door switch connector as well. Then the door should come right out. Pull it up and out of there. All right, so then after that, we're going to be removing this bulkhead right here. To do that, we'll be taking off these 5 screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one is down here. After those have been removed, we can just pull up first, then out this way. You should be able to take this thing off. So in the final step of the disassembly, we're going to take off the drum. Before we do that, we need to remove the belt. And in order to remove the belt, we need to take it off of that idler pulley that's right there. So we're just gonna push that idler pulley back, and that should allow us to pull it off the belt off the idler pulley. So I'm gonna try to show it to you from this angle as well. It's going to be a little bit difficult to do, but that's my hand back here, and I'm just going to push it back and off the motor pulley. And there we go. That should allow us to pull the drum right out. So now we've got the dryer completely disassembled. This is a good time to go ahead and just vacuum out everything you see in here, as well as going back to the bulkhead right here. You definitely want to vacuum out this area right here and this area right here. This dryer actually isn't that bad. I was expecting it to be a lot worse. While you're in here vacuuming out the lint, this is also a good time to go ahead and look at the rollers. If you can, you should be able to spin them by hand. You shouldn't hear any noise like metal on metal grinding, or if they're completely jammed up, which you can do. What I like to do when they're really dirty as well is take off this little clip, we just pull right out, clean up the shaft with some WD-40 and an old rag, and then before applying the roller back onto the shaft, I like to use, oops, there it just fell out of my hand, but I like to use this graphite based lubricant, and what I can do is I can provide a link to this lubricant, and you can click on that and get this. It works very well because it doesn't attract the lint. So if you use some other types of lubricant, like perhaps like a silicone one or maybe even a petroleum based one, it could attract the lint and bind these up faster. But these ones are actually in pretty good condition. So that's a good lubricant to use. But yeah, so all I'm going to do is just vacuum up everything. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this dryer also has rollers on here, so you also want to check those. In this case, they are in pristine condition. But yeah, vacuum up everything, and if you do that every, I want to say 3, 4, 5 years, your dryer will be lint free, or pretty much as lint free as it's going to get, especially if you remove that filter or the lint trap after every drying cycle. I forgot to mention, this is also a good time to go ahead and check that idler, making sure it's spinning freely as well. And the same thing applies, you can get to it using that clip if you need to. Removing that clip if you need to, I should say. Alright, that's pretty much the cleanest it's gonna get. I first vacuumed it, then I blew it out with my leaf blower, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna be reassembling this, I should say, and everything is pretty much the same, except we're gonna be going in reverse order. Going ahead and putting the drum back in. I'll be attaching it through the idler pulley. And one thing I forgot to mention, when you remove the drum, go ahead and put an F, which means that this side is the front of the drum, or a B on the back side. That way you remember which is the front, which is the back. Anyways, after that, we're going to go ahead and put the bulkhead back on. In order to do that, make sure that these rollers go underneath the lip, the bottom lip of the drum, and then they'll clip into these holes right here. After that, don't forget to plug in the moisture sensor and also the light for the drum light. Then we'll go ahead and put this plate on. After that, we're going to put the door on. So first we want to clip it in from the bottom right here, and then we'll attach the switch for the door switch. There we go, plugged in right there. And then all we gotta do is just push it in to these clips and just put all those screws back on. Alright, so after that, we're just gonna go ahead and plug the control board back in, or the display panel I should say. And then just clip it into the spots. Plugging it back in, it should just clip in to the bottom right here. So once all those are clipped in, you should just be able to just snap it right in. There we go. All right, and the last step, we're just going to go ahead and put the lid back on. All right, so it's been completely disassembled, cleaned, and reassembled. Now it's just got some outside cosmetic work, a little bit of paint touch up. Got to clean the plastic panel from the front, fix the clamp for the cord, but that's all cosmetic stuff and doesn't need to be shown on YouTube. But we're just gonna plug it in and see if it works okay, and if it doesn't make any sort of weird noises or anything like that, which tells us that we reassembled this thing correctly. So here's the moment of truth. I've got it plugged in. I'm gonna go ahead and power it on right here. I'm just gonna, looks like it's already on. I'll just put it in time mode and set it on high, and it hits start. Let's see. All right, so that sounds wonderful. No weird grinding noises, no rumbling, and I can kind of smell it, that it's burning off whatever is on that heating element. So it's definitely getting hot already, so just gotta wipe this thing down and clean it up a little bit. We should be good to go. But anyways, that's how you disassemble and clean your Samsung dryer. So if you found this video to be helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up sign.